Hi there, it's Pete the Hipster King from the Hairy Game Lords, and we have been playing this, The Bears and the Bees from Grandpa Becks Games. What did we think? If you stay tuned, you know you're going to find out. So, The Bears and the Bees. Thank you very much, Grandpa Beck. He sent this over to us to have a look at, and I've now played this with two different groups. I've played it with my family, so that's my wife and my 10-year-old, the Hipster Prince, and it went down a storm at our table, so much so, and this doesn't always happen, my wife is actually asking to play this game. So it's a big hit with the family, but how does it fare on a gaming table? Well, we played it last night at Hairy Game Lords night, and it went down surprisingly well too. So this is one of those games that makes a brilliant filler on game night. Doesn't outstay its welcome. It's about half an hour long. A little bit longer with gamers because they tend to take a little bit more time strategizing, but it's a pretty quick game. I'd say it's 20 minutes with the family because you're playing your cards quicker. There's far less analysis paralysis, which happens sometimes in our gaming group. Even with players who don't normally do that, there was a bit last night. We may be out of practice. So, how does it play? Well, this is all about the bees and honeycomb and making honey and all of that kind of stuff. The cards look gorgeous, the backs of the cards are really nice, and the fronts mean that this game is a really, really colourful game on your table. Looks lovely on the table with those hex cards. You basically start with this one. This is the queen bee and she is the centre. And then you're going to lay cards around the queen bee. Queen bee's got wild honey all around her, which means you can place any coloured card up against wild honey. It can be blue, it can be green, it can be yellow, red, or even purple. And basically, your job is to get rid of the 6 cards that you're dealt at the start of your turn. The game will play over 3 rounds, and obviously if you get rid of all your cards you score 0. If you've got cards left, depending on the cards you've got, they score between 5, 10 or 15 points, and at the end of 3 rounds the person with the lowest score is the queen bee, the winner. So how does it play? Basically you're laying your cards down a bit like, I guess the closest, if you're not used to gaming, will be something like dominoes, but they're colours rather than numbers, because you've got to match the colours. So you've got to match red to red, yellow to yellow, etc. And you're building the colours around that hive, and that hive gets bigger and bigger and bigger as you lay your honeycomb. So you start with the base cards. These are the cards there are the most of, and they are just mixes of different colours. Whenever you lay a card, you've got to make sure it's touching at least 2 others, so you have to work it round to make sure it can fit. And after your first turn, every turn after your first turn, when you lay a card, you can lay a second card as long as it is adjacent to your first. So it starts to build nice and quickly. Sounds simple, right? Well, very quickly it becomes, depending on the draw of the cards, you can have a right pain of a hand to try and get rid of. They just don't seem to be the right colours for your game. This is where some of the bonus cards come in, the more complex cards. The first one is the drone. Now you'll notice from the drone you have 3 wild honey and you have 3 of the same colour. This is brilliant for scoring bonuses. You score bonuses by placing that first card into a space where there are more surrounding honeycombs. If you can put a card into a space where it's going to be touching 3, you get 1 bonus card. You can lay another card. So in that turn you'll lay 1 card, your adjacent and your bonus. That's 3 cards out of your hand. You're getting closer to winning. You manage to put a card down where it's touching 4, you lay 2 bonus cards, so it builds up really quickly. So those drones are great at adding extra cards. So that's your drones, there are different colours of those. You then have your worker bees. This is when it gets a little bit take that. You can have it, and families love, and a number of game groups love take that. This is the worker bee. You can see there are 3 different on there, and they have different options, usually including a wild. See the wild at the top there. This card, if I lay that, for 2 other cards, I can pick a player to pick 1 card. If it touches 3, they can pick 2 additional cards. So you start making somebody who's nearly winning. They've got more cards in their hand to get rid of. So that's that one. You choose 1 player with the worker bees. If you manage to pick up and lay a flower card, a flower, 1 in each colour, and then you have to obviously lay it with colours that match. If you manage to match this with 2 spaces, everybody draws 1, 3, so on, and that's an attack for everybody, so that's an even more powerful card. Now you're saying this game is bears and bees. You've shown me honey, you've shown me honeycomb, you've shown me bees, you've shown me flowers. Where are the bears? Well, there are some beautiful bears in this game, and these are brilliant cards to get rid of, because if you hold these at the end, they are expensive. These will cost you 15 points, but if you get rid of it, they are a blocking card. Has to touch wild honey? Of course it does, it's a bear. But nobody can place a card touching a bear, so you can block off areas of the board which can really scupper other players' plans. It's a light game, it doesn't take much thinking, there's a little bit of strategy, there's a fair bit of luck with the cards that you get, but you mitigate that by working your cards well, moving them so you get that first card, then the adjacent, then a bonus, that type of thing. You can be really a little bit crafty, a little bit clever, still a little bit of luck, but a hell of a lot of fun. The bears and the bees, big thumbs up from this hairy game lord.
Slightly Birdie James here, bears and the bees. I never got taught about the bears and the bees when I was at school. The bears and the bees is a simple tile laying game which leaves a good taste in the mouth because it's honey, of course.
Good.
And you are laying tiles around the queen, making your way out. It's really easy to understand, really easy to play. The thing I took me a little bit of time to wrap my head around the bonus thing, because if you manage to surround your hexagons with other hexagons, you get more plays. But I had to be reminded a few times, because I'm a little slow, how to play the game. But yeah, it looks nice on the table. It plays really simply. Probably not suited to somebody who has analysis paralysis, because you've got a lot of cards in your hand. You've got a lot of options on the table. And yeah, that's the only thing I'd say against it. Apart from that, we've had a great experience with this game, and yeah, enjoyed getting it to the table. Enough challenge, and also a load of fun. Bears and the bees.
Bearded Lady here, and Bears and Bees. What a nice little game this is. Nice, pleasant artwork on there. It's quite a nice little thinky game. I think this game is great on a family table, but also works well on a board gamer's table as well. There's a little bit of strategy in it. There's that kind of thinking stuff through. If I can create a triggered bonus go from placing something here and then placing something there, and whether that can help me in getting rid of more of my cards. Maybe I could play down a card here that will force others to get cards as well. I like that, so there's that little element of take that in there, as well as you trying to meet your mission of getting rid of all of your cards. Nice, really like that. Good little filler game. Didn't outstay its welcome on the table, and it plays in 3 rounds, and obviously at the end of each round, if you have cards left, then those cards are worth certain amounts of points. Obviously some cards are worth more points, and you don't want to have any points. I won. Good times. I got a total of 5 points, and the other 2 got 35 apiece. Yes. So a good little game, and one that I would fully recommend getting involved with. Do it.
Bears and bees. Bears and bees.